Hey guys, I don't know if you're into multi-tools like I am, but I use them almost daily. I have carried a Leatherman Wave every single day for probably 22 or 23 years. I keep multi-tools in the back ends of our Jeeps. I keep them in tackle boxes. I keep them in camping totes, like get home type bags or, EDC type bags. Um, and I'm always going to have one on me on my belt anyways, but I still like to have a second one anywhere I go. I've got some of the really cheap Ozark Trail ones that were like $10 or something. Those are the ones I use to keep in like extra tackle boxes. Like this one here, I think is in like the $30 range. It's a Ganzo one. When I bought this Leatherman Wingman, I paid like $26 for it. It was in 2014. Let's see there. These things are up to like $80 now. And it's like a stripped down version. I don't even remember how many tools are on it, but it's not that many. I bought this one so that whenever we traveled, I didn't have to take my expensive Wave and I would still have a lot of tools with me. But again, they're up to $80+ now. I keep this Gerber 600 in the back of one of our Jeeps, and it's a decent multi-tool, basically plier set and all your normal stuff on it. These are running, I want to say close to $80 or so right now as well. When I bought the Wave, again, 22 years or so ago, I think it was maybe like around $90. This is not the Wave Plus. This is like the original Wave. But these are like 130 to 150, depending on color. So, anyways, I learned of this brand here, Rocktol, a few weeks ago from a fellow YouTuber named Brian Waters. I'll leave his link down in the description. But he reviewed a couple of their multi tools, and they looked really interesting, and they are very budget friendly. So I reached out to Rocktol, asked if they'd be willing to collaborate, and they were excited about it. And they sent me out one of their multi tools, and I picked one that's very similar to the Wave. It's actually an exact clone of the Wave. And I figure that's the tool that I have the most experience with, and I want to kind of compare and contrast. And um, but this is like their packaging. It did come from Amazon, and this model is the SK02. But I figured we would do an unboxing. Looks like that might be glued. And then we'll kind of go over all those features, and then we'll kind of put it to use and see how it performs. So yeah, it does look like there are some perforations right there. So we'll have to kind of peel one of these off and then kind of rip through that. So very nice packaging so far. You got bubble wrap. We'll get that box out of the way. Comes in this little package. So very nice presentation. I do like it when somebody cares about how their product looks. There's some of their information. And then we also have a sheath with it. Let's look at that quickly. Button closure. Looks like you can only wear it vertically, which is fine. That's the way I wear mine. These here you can wear vertically or horizontally. You can go through either way, but they do have their logo on that, which I do appreciate. So just your typical sheath. And then we have the multi-tool. Let's make sure there's nothing else in here. No, there's not. All right, let's get this out, and then we'll start going over everything. Start off here just kind of showing you guys some up close of the hardware, the materials used. And I will be bringing the Leatherman Wave in multiple times throughout this video because that's what we're kind of comparing it to. Again, this is the original Wave, not the Wave Plus. Looking at them, the SK02 looks to be a little bit wider across. Height-wise, are about the same. And depth or thickness, they look to be about the same. But to me, that part right there looks a little bit wider. Even up there, just slightly. See if we can see it this way if we put them. Yeah, it's definitely wider. I mean, it's not like a crazy amount, but you can for sure see that it's bigger on both sides there. The entire multi-tool is stainless steel and the handles are titanium coated. Quickly compare the weights of the two of them. They'll be in ounces. We got 9.1 for the Rocktol. So 9.1. And 7.9 for the Leatherman. So the SK02 has 19 tools on it total. Let's get it opened up and we'll kind of start going through it and then kind of compare again to the Leatherman Wave. See what they look like open here. So just in the hand, this is definitely wider. That takes up a whole lot more hand space. I can almost completely close my hand on the Leatherman, and there's a gap there. So it's definitely wider at the bottom there. These are not spring-loaded pliers. They do not like bounce back open, so you have to manually open and close them. Same on the old Wave. So we have needle nose pliers here. Let's look how that comes together. That's pretty much near perfect. Very tight closure. You got regular pliers in here, and then you have a wire cutter right there, and that is not replaceable, but that's exactly the same as the Leatherman Wave, the original one. But you can see that the Gerber ones are replaceable. And as far as that handle, this is the Wingman. It does have spring-loaded pliers. Honestly, I prefer the ones that aren't. On the Wave, you can see there's a little arrow right there. And if you look, there's a little hole. They don't have the arrow on here, but it's the same design. So if you have basically harder wire, you can put down in there, and it's basically another wire cutter. So the longer pieces up there are wire cutters, and the little hole is for cutting wire as well. Here's a feature that most people don't even know about multi-tools is, let's say you have two wires and you need to put a little connector to join those two wires. You need to crimp it down. You can actually put it in here like this and then squeeze this down, and it squeezes that connector to join the two wires. So that's a nice feature to have. So one of the problems that I've always had with this Leatherman Wave is when you want to pull the tools out, I can't get like a fingernail down in here to get those things out. So what I always do is I take a nail and I grab it here, and then I just flip all of them out, and then whatever I need, then I'll keep out. For 22 years, that's why I've always had to do this, and it's the same on this side. I just put my finger here, pop everything out, find what I need, and then push the other stuff back down. Let's see how it is with this SK02. So I can see already those are set in there deeper, and it has this part of the handle. Let's see if I can show you this. So you see how the Leatherman ones are almost right in line with the handle. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my nail down in here. Yeah, that's going to be difficult. Let's see if there's another way to get any of these out. So I can get that one. Maybe by getting one out, it'll let you get the others out. Those are really, really, really stiff right now too. Where is something to grab onto the... So the scissors, I grabbed onto that thing right there. So we'll go over these tools while we have it out here. Let's start here with this one. This is obviously a bottle opener, but also is a can opener. So if you have canned food, you can actually take this and plunge into it and then work around the lid on that and cut that open. And then you also have a wire stripper right there on that section. And just to show you, the Leatherman Wave has all three of the same things. This little thing right there is like a precision screwdriver, kind of maybe used for glasses or something along those lines. And again, the Leatherman has one that's almost the same size. Still on the same side, we have a large slotted screwdriver. Leatherman Wave has a large slotted screwdriver. They look to be about the exact same size. And finally on this side, we have a pair of scissors. You can see the spring is right there. A little bit stiff on that right now. Probably needs a little bit of oil and some use. Let's see, the Leatherman. Get these other ones put away. Those are the Leatherman scissors. The Leatherman ones are definitely bigger, like significantly bigger. And those scissors do lock in place. So when you're done with them, you have to hit this little button here to release that, and then they'll fold back down and out of the way. All right, that's all the tools on one side. Before we transition to the other side, I do want to show you that there is a like a ruler up here. Goes out to, looks like just over 7 inches. I don't think the Wave, I don't remember ever seeing one on there. Yeah, I don't think the Wave has any type of measuring stick or anything on it. All right, so this side over here, we basically only have one tool. See how stiff that is to get out. It does lock in place, and it is a screwdriver bit. And it looks like we have like a Phillips head or slotted head, and then a straight or standard screwdriver. It does have like a little ball that kind of holds it in. I'll try some bits that don't have it and see if they actually stay in or if they drop out. But what's nice about this is that you can use more or less any screwdriver bits that you want. So Phillips and straight head. Again, Leatherman. We got a Phillips there. And it's the regular kind. I think on the Wave Plus, they made these to where they're like flat. So even though it might be a Phillips head, it's a flat one. It's kind of weird looking. That was the large straight head, but we got a couple others over here with Leatherman. And this is not magnetic. It's just that little ball, what basically keeps it in there. And again, to close that, you do have to push that lock and let it go back down in there. All right, let's look at some of the tools on the outside now. We'll start here. This is their knife. Pretty stiff right now. I mean, that takes a good grip to open that. The knife is 7CR17 stainless steel. It's been hardened to HRC 58. I'll do some cutting here in a bit with it and see. We do have like a liner lock. You can see right there. So we'll have to push that in, and then that would allow the knife to close back. I'll see if I can show you that when we open it. So right there, you'll see it pop out right there. And that's what prevents it from closing when you're trying to cut something or if you hit something or whatever. And on the same handle as the knife, but the opposite side, is the saw. There is a little thing right there where you grab onto on that to pull that out. So let's get this open up. It'll be the same thing, same type of liner lock. That is the saw. Mine does have a little scratch right there on it, but not a big deal. It's going to get used. You can see all the teeth on that. And that's a lot smoother than what that knife was. That knife is super stiff. All right, moving over to the other side of the handle, we have a serrated knife. That's good a lot of times for cutting cordage and stuff like that. And then we have two files. So we pull it out. We have a wood file and a metal file. And just to show you, the Leatherman has pretty much the same. They're in slightly different order here, but it's the same tools: knife, saw, files, and serrated knife. I will quickly say, like on the Leatherman, granted this thing's 20 some years old, it's been used a bunch, but I can easily with one hand open and close that knife. This one here, again, maybe this is a little bit too tight, or maybe just needs some oil, so maybe I'll drop some oil in there first. I can start it with one hand, but I get so far and then I can't move that really hardly anymore. Like that takes a ton of effort. So I don't know, again, maybe with some use that'll get better, but that's really hard right now. So before we move on to any of the testing, I want to see if you can just put your own bits in here and if they'll stay. So that's a square bit and that will not stay. You could use it, but the second you turn that upside down, that is going to fall out. Then I have a T bit. I'm sure it's going to be the same thing then. Yeah, they're just going to slide out. One is the length. These are obviously way shorter. The biggest thing is having that ball that kind of locks it in place there. So, I mean, technically I could use that, if I had something I could, like it's in there, I could definitely use it, but the second I turn that thing upside down, it is going to fall out. Let's try one that's longer that would come like with the drill. See if it'll work. So it goes in fine. Again, you could use it, but it does not lock in place. So you can technically use your own bits, but you're going to have them that have that little locking ball thing on them right there. All right, let's put some of the tools on each multi-tool to use. I'm not going to do all 19 because this video would take an hour to do it that way, but we'll do a few of them and then kind of compare them to the Leatherman. So up first, we'll just do a simple paper cutting test. This may not be fair because that Leatherman is 22, 23 years old, and I have not sharpened that blade, and I can't even tell you the last time, but we'll still do it. See what we got here. Wow, that thing is crazy sharp. That is one of the cleanest cuts that I've ever had with any knife. I mean, it just as thin as you want to go. That's pretty incredible. All right, we'll try the Leatherman. Again, I don't have high hopes for this, so the Rocktool's probably going to win this one, but yeah, this is not going good for the Leatherman right now. Kind of my fault on it, though. I'm sure it was really sharp when I first got it, but yeah, I don't think I need to probably do much more of this one. So definitely the Rocktol knife is way sharper than my Leatherman right now. All right, up next, we'll look at the scissors. What I'll do here is kind of see how clean the cut is, and then I will do another where I'll see basically kind of how long it takes me to get all the way across. So it's actually pretty clean. It makes pretty decent cuts. All right, now I'm going to see how long it takes to go from one edge to the other, basically a full cut all the way through. It's about 4 seconds. All right, we'll check out the Leatherman here. Initial impression, the Leatherman cuts a little bit longer, and it does feel a little bit smoother. Let's see about the same time here. Oh, I screwed that up. Let me try that again. Time across is about the same, I really think. But the Leatherman did feel a little bit smoother cutting. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Rocktol ones. I mean, they do cut really well, nice, clean, feels good. It's just the Leatherman, I think that the handle's a little bit longer and the blades are a little bit longer. And I think that longer handle is probably what does it for me. When you hold them up there, I have more of my finger to get on here, so I got more uh, force, basically. You can see that there's just that extra tip right there. All right, up next we'll look at the serrated knife. Again, Rocktol calls this like their rope knife or cordage knife. And this is that type of rope that's hard to tie in like really close knots. It's got like that coating on the outside of it. So we'll kind of see, this will probably make a mess here, but it's all right. I'll just kind of lightly pull back and forth a couple times. Oh, just took one pull to get through it. We'll do that again. Yeah, that actually cuts through really easily. So let's check out the Leatherman, see how it does. That was actually pretty easy and pretty smooth too. I don't know, that's probably a tie, to be honest. They both felt about the exact same to me. All right, here we have like a small like ring terminal, a quick connect, a butt connector, and these are the kind that you have to press a wire through there and then squeeze down on this here to connect it together. So let's give that a shot, see how that goes. Let's see how that is. Seems very, very strong. But again, what I used is this part right in here to squeeze that down. And I'm sure you could do the same thing with the Leatherman if you needed to. This is 12 gauge wire with that really hard stranded type wire. Let's see how well this cuts through it. Yeah, no problem at all. All right, I think the last comparison I want to do is with the can opener, and I'll just kind of start on one side, see what it feels like, and then flip to the Leatherman and go on the other side. See what that feels like. So it punctures through easily. And if you've never used these before, basically you're taking this part right here and grabbing underneath the outside of the can while this part here punctures down through, and you just keep working your way around. All right, I'm gonna check out the Leatherman on another section, see what this feels like. All right, without a doubt, the Leatherman does grab here much easier and bites into that can much easier. So I would give the win to the Leatherman. That the Rocktol works perfectly fine though, but this seems a little bit quicker. So hopefully seeing a few uses for these multi-tools was somewhat helpful for you guys. So let's talk pricing real quick. This Rocktol 19-in-1 is coming in on Amazon right now, time of this recording, at $35. I'm not sure if you can use this code that it shows right there or not. If you can, it would obviously take $3.50 off. So you're at 32 something, but either way, $35. The Leatherman Wave at the time of this recording is coming in at 120 on Amazon. So you could obviously buy practically 4 of the Rocktols for the price of the Leatherman. So Leatherman has a lifetime warranty on their multi-tools, and I've actually had to use that one time. I had that serrated knife blade actually snap off, like break at the hinge area. And all I had to do, I did have to send the whole thing back to them, and then they replaced it and cleaned the whole Leatherman up and everything. It cost me like $7 or something like that just for the shipping. Rocktol also has a lifetime warranty. You can like pause and read that if you want there, but it pretty much covers any type of defects, or if anything were to break. It does tell you that if you do certain things that it wouldn't cover it, but for the most part, if it's just normal use stuff, it's going to cover it. So my thoughts are, if you're looking maybe for your first multi-tool, you cannot go wrong with this Rocktol. Again, $30, $35 or so, and it practically does every single thing that the Leatherman does. Some of the things it even does better than what Leatherman does. If you already have a Leatherman and are looking for another multi-tool to maybe go in another car or a tackle box or whatever it might be, you cannot go wrong with the Rocktol. It is very, very good. Honestly, my only complaint with the entire thing is that I have a hard time getting some of these tools out, because that thing right there is a little bit too low for me to get my nails. It just doesn't get down in there far enough. If you have fingernails, it's probably not a problem. So what I will have to do is like pull a tool out and then kind of get in here and get this other stuff and try to grab these things. But again, that's probably just me, and most of you will not have that issue at all. But yeah, overall, I really like this Rocktol 19-in-1. It's a great multi-tool. You know how it is when you pick up like a quality tool versus like a cheap or junk one, whether it be a hammer or screwdriver or channel locks or pliers, or it doesn't matter, whatever it is. When you pick it up, you're like, man, that just feels different. This Rocktol is like that. I can tell that it's good components that are used in it, quality craftsmanship. I really do like it and recommend it. So, all right, guys, if you found this video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.